co-pastor. I don't know what she's talking about. This is 21st century. This is a man's world. So somewhere in your leadership techniques and strategies, you're going to have to get along with men. Now, you don't have to agree with them.
Right.
But you got to get along with them. Right. And so that's where we developed the title Soaring Above the Ceiling. Is there a glass ceiling? Is there some differences between how women leaders are respected and received and how male leaders are respected and received? And the book goes into that. Yes. There are some differences. No matter how good we may be, there are some differences. And what we learned as we put the book together is that most of our challenges did not come from males.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Now, if that ain't a hallelujah, you can't see me.
Absolutely.
You know, it was from the female sector.
Absolutely.
For whatever reasons, the jealousy, the intimidation, we found was from more female factors than men. And so we developed all that. And we concluded at the end, there is a glass ceiling. Will we ever break it? I doubt it. Can we crack it? Most certainly.
Absolutely.
We can make it easier for the girls who have to come behind us.
Absolutely.
And that is the crust of being successful as a female leader. What trails, what drippings do you leave behind? You may never see a mouse. You may never see a mouse. What makes you know that there is a mouse somewhere in your house is a mouse always leaves drippings. There are always drops. You can always see where the mouse has been. And so as female leaders, to be successful, we want to be sure that we leave some drippings, that we leave some tidbits that other women, other ladies can follow us and say, okay, don't do that. That's not going to help your cause. Let's not do it that way because that's going to hinder you.
Yes.
Let's not say that, even if though you feel like saying that, and you probably have the right to say that. But is that going to help you in the long run? And that's where we are. We want to lead successfully, not just for today, but for tomorrow.
Yeah.
We want to make it easier for our daughters, easier for our granddaughters, and certainly easier for other sisters of many different ethnic groups and cultures, because some things are the same across the board.
Absolutely.
And so the book kind of deals with things like that. We also looked at our particular denomination, which hails from the flag point that they've always accepted women. And that's true and not true. They've always accepted women in certain positions, in certain postures. And so we looked at our organization and began to conclude that though we were one of the earlier denominations to sanction women, it took us a long time to come to the fact that women can become bishops or women can lead in that type of a hierarchy. And again, it comes from an understanding of the scriptures. So when they say that the one that they love, well, Paul told Timothy, you have to be the husband of one wife, or you ought to be silent. Okay, well, Paul was writing to a male. So duh. You need to be the husband of one wife. He wasn't writing to a sister. He wasn't writing to a female. Or the whole conversation would have changed. He was writing to his son in the gospel. He never said that God said this. He never said that Jesus said this. He was Jewish by culture. Jewish women by culture were more dorsal. And they were not. But you take those women, those Gentile girls, are you kidding me?
Right.
They were queens. They ran the show.
Yes.
When the Queen of Sheba came to see Solomon, baby, the girl stepped in there and she was not empty-handed. This is what I brought for you.
Yes.
Now let's talk. The Gentile women had a whole different perspective about leadership. And so we brought those kinds of elements in to set in place that we can be successful, we can leave the drippings, and long after our voices are hushed, women can build upon what we have lived and what we brought to the table.
Listen, you owe it to yourself to get this book. Now, I want co-pastor to talk a little bit about mentoring. You touched on that. Talk about the importance of it and some of the recommendations or, strategies that one might go through to select a mentor. And I'll tell you, before we came into a mentor-mentee relationship, I had actually talked with Reverend Dr. Ann Lightner Fuller at the Hamptons Ministers Conference, and it was so funny because I said, well, I'm thinking about I need a mentor, and she says to me, well, the Lord said that your mentor is closer than you think, and I'm like, oh, okay. Well, she's in Baltimore, So I get back home right on off of Rhode Island Avenue, and the Lord is like, yeah, duh, right down the street.